It's so easy.
It's
especially
not,
with us. We
though.
just keep talking.
Yeah, I know, but it's like once you know the microphone's on and you know that it's going to go out there, you're like, I need to say important things,
What am I
otherwise
saying?
I need to say important things, you know, like I have an hour free to bet. You know, like, that's like, no.
This is already going great.
Yep.
All right. It's a podcast. I'm Lachlan.
Dorothy.
And that's Dorothy.
Thank you.
And this is the You Talk Too Much podcast, which is what we do all the time for some reason.
Yeah.
No one listens to this.
Yeah, like I was talking to a friend today because they were
Like,
like,
yeah.
"What are you doing? What are you doing?" And I'm, "Well, I'm doing a podcast." And they were like, "Oh yeah, what's the podcast?" And I wrote, "You talk too much." And then I was like, "No, it's made by this group and it's up on YouTube." And he was like, "Oh, I thought you were just saying that to me." It's like, "No, but you do talk too much."
Yeah, but please shut up.
Yeah. So a quick YouTube search, not YouTube, a Google search, I couldn't find it. I was like, yeah.
Oh, no.
You'll find it on YouTube. It is a real thing. I'm not trying to, evade you.
Yeah, no,
though I am.
Well, now they know.
Yeah, well. They've always known deep down.
I don't really try to advertise the podcast, really. This is more for me, because I just like talking to people. The podcast is just fun and feels like it's professional.
It does tend to feel that way.
So, it's just...
That's why it's Night Vale works really well because it's really weird and fucked up.
It's so
but
weird.
because it's a podcast, you're like, I have to take this seriously. Because if they made it into a TV series, I don't think people would take it as well as they do in the podcast.
Yeah.
It's like a radio show.
It's probably been made into web series now though, just because the podcast is famous and people just do that. That's so
Sorry,
close to the
I'm
microphone. It's gonna be
cracking
amazing.
my fingers.
People are gonna be cringing to that. That's awesome.
Just have to
That's exactly what I want.
tell people that I'm doing that.
That's exactly what I want from all these. It's great.
It's breaking my hands while we talk.
So I suppose we didn't ask you when you got here because I like to leave it for the podcast. But what's going on? I mean, not much new stuff because we talk like all the freaking time.
Yeah.
But
How and
are
I
you?
literally you should have told me before because then I would have saved my horse riding stories for
you
now.
can still tell it. I can
Yeah, but
act
I've
like
already-
I haven't heard
Well,
it
now
before.
they know that I said it. But it was. It's fine. What am I doing? What am I doing with my life? Well, I did a softcore porn thing yesterday, which was fun. No need to explain that
No,
one.
that's all right.
Horse riding
just leave it
today.
there.
Yeah. Horse riding today. Cleaning, housewife stuff. It's awesome.
Just the usual. Yeah.
Just the usual, yeah. Harassing your cat, who is now no longer here.
Just usual playing with kittens, softcore.
Yeah.
general,
I've got my BDSM article is going to be submitted on Monday, and if I get a good enough read through it, then it will actually be published, which will be
Nice.
interesting. I don't think it will, but I might just purely because it's about BDSM.
And no one else is going to do it. You're
No
like,
one
"Oh,
else
this is
is-
interesting.
Yeah,
It is interesting though. From
It's
what I've heard
about
of it.
sex. Everyone wants to read it.
Exactly.
It is fairly interesting though, and I've got Jemima, whose real name she did not want released. And,
Yeah.
and I've got a friend of mine who is in the BDSM circles who does a just sort of casual practice, was amazing. She has really good interview answers, which is a problem because it's a 2,000-word article and 90% of the quotes are from her. And I'm like, I did interview other people, but Talia said this and it was awesome.
Yeah, but she's really good at
Like,
this.
she's really good at this. Like, she's really open and awesome. And then the rest are all just like, I was reading other BDSM articles that actually managed to get psychologists and stuff talking on it. And I just took those quotes and was like, this was published in another article in 2013. Quote.
There it is. Yeah,
It's good. It works. It's really good because I can't get quotes like that. Not on this short notice, at least.
That's what I do sometimes when I research stuff. I'll just find everything I need on one website and just like, okay, I need like 2 more websites to make it look like I did more than this.
When I did psych, when I finished my major last year, when I had to do all my case studies, you have to have at least 6 articles cited in your paper. So you get the 6, and then because 6 is the minimum, it's sort of like if anyone's seen Office Space, the flare. 13 is the minimum flare, but you need to have more. So the minimum is 6, but that's not really the minimum. So I'd get the 6, and then I'd just go through the bibliography, and I'd find any other article cited in it that sounded like it had something to do with mine. And then I would just put those in. I never actually read them. never actually
even
knew
need
what they're
to.
about. Yeah, exactly. I just put the numbers in, like word for word, one to the other, and I would always end up having like 20 different references. I only use 6, if that, because I'm not willing to pay for the articles. I just read the abstract.
Exactly. Done. That's all I need to know.
I would get good grades too.
Yeah, no, I got really good at bullshitting by the end of year 12.
Yeah.
Like, we had to read like a book for English and stuff like that. I think we had one that was, I don't remember.
Catcher in the Rye.
No, it was like a really obscure like Australian crime book. Harry Lavender, that was what it's called. Sorry, I completely stole that from you.
No, I didn't know. I never had to read that, so I have no idea.
I haven't read it either, but I got 80% on the essay about it. Oh, wow. Just because I like chucked in a few quotes from like the first page. I'm like, this means this, and went on for like 2,000 words, and it was good.
I'm kind of sad that we don't have book reports like in America.
University.
No, like in America, because it's like it has it in one of the Bob's Burgers episodes, like just now. Tina has to do a book report on Call of the Wild, and she can't read the book because she's like, I keep getting to a comma, and then I'm like, okay, they want me to pause, but how long do they want me to pause for? Do I just pause forever? What is this? And then an hour later, I haven't read the book, and she's panicking because her book report is due like tomorrow, and Lynn just like, it's okay, I've never read the book, we're just gonna make a song and dance. So she's wearing like tap shoes, and she's got like a dog costume on, she's got a wheelbarrow as her sleigh, and she has to do this whole like song, and she freaks out in front of the class and just like, I can't do this, and like smashes everything, and ends up getting like an A because she embodied all the themes in the book. She's like, that was totally intentional, I totally meant to do that, and then just went and sat back down. Like, if I could do that, I'd be good at that, because it's all acting, but like actually writing a report about it, I'm not good with
stuff?
words. No, I can learn stuff, I'm just not good with words. Like, I have ideas, and when they come out of my mouth, they make sense.
Sorry, I want to get a photo of that you pointing to your own head going, I have ideas, okay?
I do.
Putting your finger on your temple like, it's right here. They live in here.
They do. The moving pictures. And so I have ideas. Now I'm really, like, aware of it. I keep doing it.
Sorry.
Like, the blinding array of lights in front of my eyes at any given time. No, so I have ideas. And when I say them, they make sense. And they're almost insightful sometimes. Oh. And then I put them down on paper, and it's like spaghetti. Like, it does not make any sense. And, like, my family read through it, and they're like, I understand, you have good points, but it doesn't make any fucking sense. So they need to, like, restructure it. It's bad. And I don't know why I can't translate it, but I just can't. It's weird. But, yeah, so that's what I've been up to.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
I kind of have the same problem with learning stuff. I just can't remember it. I'm good with creative things. I can do all the stuff to do with the camera and all that stuff. That's fine. But then I have to write it down like, oh, crap. What is it?
I'm just really... I second-guess myself all the time. Like, my brother was playing Simpsons trivia yesterday, right? Like the Trivial Pursuit. They have a Simpsons version.
It's awesome.
I really want to play it because I wouldn't be bad at it. Like, it's good. And then he was like, oh, we'll find a quiz online. We'll see how good you actually are. I was like, okay. So we found this quiz, Simpsons quiz. I actually got into the Hall of Fame when he left, and I was no longer, like, stressed out. But if there's somebody there, or if I'm not 100% certain on the question, like how many times has Selma Bouvier been married?
Ooh. 5.
6.
Damn it!
She married Terwilliger twice.
Oh,
so it counts. Yeah. But, honestly can't remember the second marriage, but I was like, I know that she married him twice. I just can't remember. No. She marries Sideshow Bob, Abraham Simpson, Troy McClure, and Hutz, and Disco Stew.
Okay.
Disco Stew was a very short, and Twilliger twice. Disco Stew was very short. He literally just popped in at a cameo at Patty's wedding and was like, Disco Stew got an annulment from you, and just walks off. John Paul II actually says he got an annulment from John Paul II, and then just walks out, does a little cross and walks out, because he's also super Christian. But anyway, so I did the quiz, and I find that, like, I'm a savant with Simpsons. Yeah. I'm not ashamed to say I am.
It's impressive.
Thank you. And I kept getting wrong answers, because when somebody's there watching me, or if I'm like, oh my god, this matters, it doesn't. It's a fucking Simpsons quiz. But I'm like, it matters. If I get to a question I'm not 100% certain on, my first answer will always be correct. but I'll be like, am I sure? And I end up pressing my second answer, which is wrong, because my first answer was right. So I get really pissed off and annoyed. So it took me quite a few goes, but then eventually my brother was like, okay, I'm going, bye. And then I got like full marks. It was crazy.
You love the website Sporkle. It's like a bunch of quizzes made by people, and there's a whole heap of Simpsons ones that are just... I can't do them. It's too hard.
Really?
I couldn't remember the name of Milhouse's parents. It was annoying me. I know them now.
Kirk and Luann Van Houten.
I know them now because I've gotten it wrong so many times on this quiz.
I can't think of Luann without thinking, I can't hear you, son. I'm in my new jacuzzi suit. Like, that's all I can hear in my mind. She's such a bitch.
I was trying to remember Milhouse's dad's name by singing the Can I Borrow a Feeling song. He doesn't say it at all in that song.
No, he doesn't.
The whole time he's going, Can I borrow a feeling?
Would you lend me a jar of love? I've still got dignity drawn on my wrist.
Only just.
Only just, yeah.
It's almost gone.
I know. I'll refresh it
You
when
gotta
I get
redraw
home.
it. I'll get you a pen.
Thank you. Yeah, because I had to start using my purple ones because my black one ran out. And I'm like, I don't have any permanent markers. Although I use a permanent marker if I had one because, like, I like it. But, you know.
This probably doesn't make any sense out of context to people.
Should I explain it?
Yeah, it's a good story.
All right. So I have a friend. She's got 4 or 5 tattoos now. She's got a plan for all of her body, but she's been convincing me for a little while that I should get a tattoo. And I've wanted one since I started uni, which was in 2011. And I was ruminating about it for ages, and then eventually I decided I'm getting one. And things went a little haywire, and I ended up deciding that I want 3, which is what I've committed to now. I want the 4 seasons in simplistic icons on my neck, the back of my neck. I want a paw print on my rib for my puppy, who I absolutely fucking love.
Cool.
And on my left wrist, where everyone always gets the pink ribbon, I'm going to be very insensitive and get the drawing Kirk Van Houten draws in Pictionary for dignity. And not everyone gets it, which was why I liked it, because I draw it on, and I go, do you know what this is? And they go, no, and I'm like, it's dignity! Don't you know dignity when you see it? And originally, actually, for a little while, I was like, maybe I should get it on my ass, just out of irony, but no, I'm keeping it on my wrist, because then everyone can see it.
Then everyone can see and ask a question, you get to reference the Simpsons.
Yeah, but the downside is that I kind of forgot that not everyone is in my generation, and I was in a class with all these younger students, and I wanted to try it out because I fucking love it. So I said, do you know what this is? And they go, no. And I went, it's dignity. I did the whole thing, and they were like, I still don't get it. And I was like, oh.
This weird girl in class.
I had to try and explain it to them, and it's just impossible to explain it. It's trending. Hashtag oldies.
Hashtag crazy batch.
Hashtag oldies.
What kids haven't seen The Simpsons?
They've seen The Simpsons, but they haven't seen the classics. And you can't appreciate the new Simpsons without seeing the classics. It just gets... Like, they don't even know how they got Santa's Little Helper.
Oh, those little bastards.
First ever episode that was released, that was the episode where they got Santa's Little Helper. They don't know it. They've never seen the very first season. I know,
right? Kids are jerks.
I know. Have you seen it?
I think so. I remember it happening. They got a dog at one point in my memory. I don't remember.
Where did they get him from?
Place.
You haven't seen it.
I've totally seen it. Like, I remember pockets of stuff. I just don't have this encyclopedic knowledge.
They got him from the dog track because Homer didn't get his Christmas bonus, and Bart ended up getting a tattoo, even though his mum said not to. So Marge needed to use the Christmas fund to get it laser removed. And so none of them had any money. They couldn't get any presents. So Homer decides to become Santa, like a mall Santa, and he gets like $12. And he goes and bets it at the Greyhound track. And because one of them's called Santa's Little Helper, he's like, oh, it's a miracle. That's the Christmas miracle. We're going to bet it on Santa's Little Helper. And he ends up coming dead last. Like 15 minutes after everyone's crossed the line.
That's
yeah. And because, they do the whole, I want to wait till our dog crosses the line.
Just wait.
Fucking forget about it. Yeah. Just walk off. and then his owner chases him off, and he jumps into Homer's arms, and Homer's like, yeah, he's a Simpson. And they bring him home, and they're like, oh my god. So yeah, that's how they got him. Just showing you how good my Simpsons
That is,
memory
it's
is.
so cool.
No,
I
it's
really
sad.
like it. It's awesome.
Like I went to a New Year's Eve party and I never socialized with girls because girls don't appreciate this. But I had like 6 guys around me just being like, remember this quote? I was like, we all know I'm not the popular one at this party. Like, there's a very select group of people who will come and talk to me. That was good though. I beat them all down. You know?
Yeah. Literally? I'm thinking.
Yeah,
literally.
totally.
Oh,
no,
absolutely.
I did.
You cracked your knuckles after you said it.
Oh no, totally. No, I one of them was like, I've never met the guy. He grabbed my breast like so many times that night for some weird reason. And then at the
he's
end,
a dude, that's why.
Yeah, pretty much. And he at the end, I was about to leave, and he was like, "Can I get a New Year's kiss?" I was like, "Yeah, whatever." And we committed. Like I jumped on him and everything. And he couldn't balance right. And I jumped on him. He was on the stairs, and we just went crashing down. And it was not the worst fall I had that party. Because there was another guy who was extremely drunk, and we do shows together, or we did when I still did musicals. And he was like, I want to dip you. I was like, okay. So he dipped me. Everything was fine. And then these people were like, no, let's take a picture. Facebook picture. Dorothy's getting dipped. And it was my profile picture for ages.
I think I remember that one.
It was before the fall because they took the picture. They took the picture, and then he is like this thin, very, very drunk, stumbles and just smacks my head into a chair and just falls over. And you know, I don't like causing drama, so I just got up and was like, "That's okay," and just kept walking. And I was like weaving,
concussed, puking in the corner. You know, the usual. That's what I made this podcast for, is to tell stupid stories like that.
Oh, yeah.
I love it. And we're looking at the cat. The cat's so distracting. All the time. We've actually recorded some gameplay stuff that we can't use anymore because we all got distracted just looking at this cat.
I just wanted to come to me.
Come on, cat. Come join the podcast. Please. Come on, buddy. You don't really have a name yet. It's been 3 months. You still don't really have a name because we're all still arguing over it.
Leroy. Oh, not Leroy. It was called
Leroy.
Oh my god.
And then we found out it was a girl.
My favorite horse is called Leroy. At the thing, he's a piebald Clydesdale cross. And he is such a dick. But he's lots of fun. He's got character, and he's got like this Elvis quiff at the top. Because his hair's so long, because he's a Clydesdale, we have to do this quiff before we go riding, otherwise he can't see. But yeah, his name's Leroy. Bad Leroy Brown.
So yeah, the cat was named Leroy while we thought it was a guy. Then about a month later we found out it was a girl. And we came back here and argued with a 12-year-old, 14-year-old, and 2 adults about the name of the girl cat. I'm still sticking with Leroy the girl cat. Jesus. Clawing into you.
Call it Leanne. Call it Leanne.
I'm going to call it Leroy the girl cat.
You'd like that name?
You're so close to
really
close. It's amazing.
It's going to be peaking. I am so sorry.
Nah, that's my
There
problem.
There was a cat on my back, and I was forced into it.
Non-consensual cat back.
Not consensual cat back.
Yeah.
I had a line yesterday. I didn't even realize we were putting on the makeup. And the guy runs in, he's like, okay, here's a script. I was like, I've got one, but whatever. And I completely forgot that I have to keep a straight face when a guy comes up, puts his hand on my shoulder and says, please let us into your gangbang to watch. And
This is softcore as well.
It was softcore. Okay, explanation for softcore. There's 20 Filipino guys. 3 of them are in the bed with me. The rest of them are watching at the end of the bed. I'm the only one in underwear and porn makeup, and everyone else is like fully clothed and really awkward and weird. And I'm just like, oh. And the guy introduces me because we've worked together on a few films. We didn't speak for ages, and then suddenly, just out of the blue, April 1st, he was like, "Can you help me with this? It's sort of like a prank thing." And I was like, no, because I'm always paranoid that they're like, help us prank another person, but we're actually pranking you. And I'm like, I'd fall for it. So I was like, no. And then he was like, no, please. And he explained it, and he was like, yeah, it's a Bucks party. That's my receipt.
Cat, stop it. You can probably hear that in the microphone. Puss, don't be a jerk. She's backed away just then.
She's got the eyes on me. She's like, I'm gonna get you.
Yeah, she does. She locks eyes with people. She knows what the eyes are, and she's gonna scratch them out someday. The one day she gets sick of us all,
1 second.
Go straight for the eyes. Jumping at you.
I evaded it. Anyway.
What was the story?
Yeah, so I know the guys for ages. I haven't spoken to him since our last film, which was in 2012.
Wow.
And unless he was in Me and My Mates, I can't remember, but he definitely wasn't there when I did my topless scene. Doesn't matter. But anyway, another thing that doesn't need an explanation. And just watch the movie.
Everyone just went, Me and My Mates? Or something.
Yeah, just watch the movie.
Watch this movie.
Yeah. You can see me get black eyes while I'm running. It's great. Anyway, so yeah, we haven't spoken since 2012. And he contacts me and he's like, please help with this. We're doing like a fake porno for our friend. It's his bachelor, Buck's night. And we want to do something special for him. I'm like, really? Because it sounds like they didn't have enough money for a stripper and just hired me. And I was like, great. And it's all fake. You know, it will actually be recorded. It will actually be cut together. It's an actual film.
Okay, so it's a film. I thought you were just going there to mess with this dude.
No, otherwise I'd probably be like, no, like, I don't have a problem with doing porn. But if it's not being recorded, it's fucking weird. So that's my standard. So so I went over. We went to film it, and the guy introduces me. I've been putting my makeup on for like 45 minutes. All the guys have done their scenes, and like group scenes. Yeah. And I come out, and he's like, "This is Dorothy. Let's give her a round of applause. She's a professional." And I was like. Clarify. Because then one of the guys comes over to me. He's like, so this is your first time acting? And I was like, no. Like, I'm not a professional stripper or anything. I am an actress. I just happen to strip as part of my acting.
Actually, you sent me a picture of your makeup. You said makeup done by a pro. For a second I went, by a professional or by another prostitute? Which one did it? I didn't want to ask. I just assumed it was professional.
It was a professional makeup artist. I was just really worried because I wrote it and then I sent that. And then my first thought was, they're going to think it was another professional prostitute. like another porn star. I was like, no, sweetheart, this is how we do the makeup. And this did it for him, but no. It was fine. It was the makeup artist's first time doing porn makeup too, which was why I was a little subdued. Like, I've seen porn makeup.
It covers a lot.
It covers a lot. Like, I've seen the before and afters. I love those pictures, the before porn star and the after porn star. And I remember talking to, it was my ex, actually. We were talking about it, and I was like, they look like normal people. And he's like, yeah, wouldn't want to take those girls home. I was like, you're such a dick. Like, you know they're good at it. They're in pornos.
Seriously.
Like, it's all about looks, apparently. But no, I really liked it. I loved that makeup, and
it did look pretty good.
Thank you. And I put the picture up on Snapchat as my story, which I very rarely do. I normally don't have a story, and I know, right?
I don't have a story. I'm above it.
Yeah, and I put the picture up, and I went, porn star makeup for the win, or something like that. Something about porn star makeup.
Okay.
And this guy. I think you know him, the one that went a little over the line whenever we sex.
I don't know him, but...
You don't know him, but he's the one that said I was a raging whore.
But I know he's funny,
yeah. In a sexual sense. Yeah, he's funny, but it's not intentional.
No.
Yeah, and...
he's funny to other people.
He wrote a... Well, he took a Snapchat in response, and it was just his face, thank God. And the comment was, Homer, you've got it set on whore. And I actually lost my shit at that. That one was funny. Okay, that one was good. You know, it was so many guys. Like, it was the mistake. I put the photo up and I went, porn star makeup. And 2 girls wrote to me and were like, are you actually a porn star now? And I was like, no, but I'm considering it.
It's pretty good pay. Let's go.
I was like, because she was like, you're not actually having sex with strangers, right? And I was like, no.
Well, not.
But if I trusted the crew, and the guy was attractive, then why not? Like, I'd do it. What the fuck? But I was like, no, I'm not actually doing porn. And then the guys, on the other hand,
all the guys in this podcast went, aww.
I just like, I've got a photographer because I do all these pinups and
pretty.
I do all this. I'm not though. It's one of those like bald eagle situations where they're like this massive like fuck off bed, and then their voice is like it's really high pitched and weird. But I do I know. I do a lot of nude photo shoots and stuff like that, which is close enough. And I was talking to the photographer, and he goes, you know, you should consider going into porn because you'd have a fan base. I was like, I know. He's like, no, you'd have a fan base, Dorothy. I was like, thank you. So I do consider it every now and then in times of strife where I'm like, I feel really shitty, or I don't have enough money. I'm like, fuck it, porn. Like,
it is a conversation that's come up a lot this year. So like all of us going into our third year of doing media, we're all like slowly considering the idea of just doing porn as an actual business.
Yeah,
I could film porn.
Like it's feasible.
It's a job.
It's feasible. Like it's just
easy.
a job.
It's like a day's work.
And the cutting isn't that bad because I have watched porn
no
where
one's
you can hear.
Focus on
First off, the girls are always looking off at the director. They're halfway through, and you can see them looking off camera, and I'm like, I know you're looking at the director or somebody in the crew who's like, Master, or Master, more expression, or my
make a face, make this face.
Or my favorite is when they don't cut it right. And either two things can happen. One, there was one time where a girl was very, very sick. And you could hear she was sick because she was... like she couldn't breathe. She was really nasally. And I was like, you're so sick, sweetheart. And one of them in the scene farted. And it cut a second after that. I was like, you couldn't have cut it like a second before? Apparently not. So, keep it natural. And the other is my other favorite, and this happens a lot more often because I've only seen one porno where somebody has actually farted and it maintained in the film. The other thing that I hear a lot of is a disembodied voice, probably the director off screen being like, cut, and then they cut to another shot. Like they don't cut before, then they're like, fuck it, we need this released today.
But it's like they don't really need to do much work anyway. People are going to watch it anyway. It's like, this is porn. Awesome. I'm in.
Exactly. And I think it heightens it that the directors of the thing is just being like, go a little faster. Like, I've heard that. Like, directors just being like, can you just move? And she'll do this little nod, and then she'll move. And I'm like, oh my God. So I already know that I have more acting ability, but porn is easier if I'm feeling lazy. Yeah. Because I don't need to act. I'm just like, yeah.
That may be the title of this podcast.
What,
porn is easy if I'm feeling lazy.
Yeah. And the writing's easy. Like, I mean, like I said, my favorite one was the nurses. I said that I say the story all the time. The one was the two nurses. Their hair's down to their waist and it's out. They've got the little thing.
Hard issues.
Yeah, they've got the white fishnet stockings and the platforms because it was done in like the early 90s or something. So it's just terrible. There's that weird haze to it. Where it's just a little bit out of focus.
It's kind of glowy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. It's nurses. Sexy nurses. And one of them goes over to the other and she goes, the blonde one. He goes, Cinnamon, what do you think about euthanasia? And then Cinnamon is like, I don't know. I think it was Candy. I don't know, Candy, but I'd have to think that the euthanasia is the same as the youth in America. And I was like, oh my God. And then she's like, no, assisted suicide, silly. And I'm like, okay, this is a weird way to start a porno. But whatever. And then
the writer's like, we're geniuses.
Yeah, exactly. And then the girl goes in. The girl goes in. It's like a Bold and the Beautiful scene. It's beautiful. Like, it's got the actual haze that the Bold and the Beautiful has. And she goes in and she gets the needle, and it's probably just filled with saline solution. But she goes over to the IV. She's about to inject it. And the guy's like, what the fuck? And she's like, I've never done this before. Like, I've never murdered someone before. As a nurse, you're not allowed to help in euthanasia. And then he very clearly is like, I want to die the way I came into this world. The vagina. And then it's like, sex. And then shit gets real. But,
that is one of the quotes I remember from the Night Vale podcast. I think it was Night Vale. He's talking about the way he wants to die is by eaten feet first by a giant snake.
Yes.
Going back into a slimy, gaping maw the way he came into this world or something.
Oh, God. I love Welcome to Night Vale.
It was really good.
My students are amazing. They were the ones who told me to listen to that. I like the one where they're talking about the torture chambers. If you don't vote for the governor, your friend will be sent to a torture chamber. And the torture chamber now has Wi-Fi and cable and like all this awesome stuff. So, no, I like it.
It's such a great idea for a podcast.
It's so weird. Yeah.
I love it.
And they even have like they've gotten commercial enough to be able to go out and do like meetings and conferences and shit. So they're actually quite popular. So yeah.
That's kind of what I want, but at the same time I don't really care about that level of fame with YouTube stuff, especially because then I have to go and tell people that I do YouTube for a living, and I don't want to do that.
Aww, the
don't have to say
YouTube
that.
money.
I know. I want the money. I just don't want to have to tell people that's what I do for money. What do you just want? Oh, play games for the internet. It's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool, though.
Date me. It wouldn't work. It's like, oh,
I don't know. Some girls wouldn't. I'm sure some girls, like gamer girls, would be into it. Manic pixie shit that guys think actually exists but doesn't. Like it's weird. That whole concept of different types of girl just frustrating. It's like casting calls.
Oh,
You'll hear some of the
I think you just sent me a Tumblr page of like the worst
stupidest
casting calls
shit.
ever.
Yeah, and it's things like have you you read the cheeseburger one, right?
I read a few.
Where he's
of them.
like, I want. It's,
I scrolled that page
you
for like.
You really like my invoice, don't you?
You sent me that link while I was in a lecture for uni. I
Oh my
spent
God.
the whole hour scrolling through
nice.
that
Thank
page.
you.
I didn't
Thank
listen
you.
to a single word in the lecture. It was the
Yeah,
best page
I
ever.
never do. But,
I think one of my favorite ones was
Yeah.
it's the main actress will have to have sex with the main character. The main character will be played by me. Or
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
It's like, okay.
There are a lot of those. Yeah, there's one where it's not even a fucking casting call. I swear it's just off like Craigslist or something like that. Like it's awful. It's not a casting call. The guy's like, I want a girl who's willing to come and blow me on camera. You'll get 6 cheeseburgers, no mustard, no pickles. Like it's like plain cheeseburger. You can't take the cheeseburgers home with you. You have to eat them on camera with me. Like it was fucked up. And I was like, how is this a casting call? But no, my favorite was this guy goes into this massive spiel. He's like, she's the sort of girl who'll dance in the rain. And it's like 15 minutes long to read. And yeah, it's like the sort of girl who'll dance in the rain and leans up against the window thinking about life while she eats like popcorn or weird shit like that. Like she knits, she drives a Honda Accord, she wears weird glasses and likes playing video games in the springtime and shit like that. And for the guys, it was just like 20 to 25 years old. Like that's all they needed. But the girl had to be oddly specific. I was like, that's what the fuck? Like it's not fair being a girl. Like my resume is just full of characters is like topless girl, softcore porn, has to kiss this guy, has to do this. I'm like, seriously? Like I swear to, if I ever make it big, one of the first things I'm gonna have to do on camera is masturbate. I can guarantee it right now. That's gonna be one of my scenes because that's the only thing I get hired to fucking do other than your channel.
See, that's
It's
why
all
I
fucked
feel
up
good
shit.
about mine now because the first time you were in for us, you were a doctor.
Yeah, a weird one with pink hair who I don't know didn't even wear scrubs or anything.
Severely underqualified doctor.
Severely underqualified and
But still
had
a
a real
doctor.
problem with his mum. But yeah, still a doctor.
Yeah. What's the name of the Tumblr page, by the way? I can't remember it. I was going to say it so people can go check it out. I can't remember what it's called.
Casting calls. It's like
I
I've got
think
it.
it's
I've
like
got it
just
on my
casting
phone.
call
I
fails or
will
something.
go and get it. It's like casting calls from hell or something, and it's only for girls. It's female casting calls. Because
the male ones aren't really
the male ones are just
that bad.
normal. I really want to read excerpts now if I can find it. Because why not?
We'll just do the whole rest of the podcast doing this. We've gotten like half an hour in, not talking about a single thing we plan to talk about. So that's.
I
like,
didn't know what
exactly
you
I
had
promised.
planned. I'm just doing casting call. Woe, WOE, not whoa. As in
Casting
WOW.
call. Whoa.
Judy gets an egg vibrator stuck in her vagina. Casting call. Whoa.
That one's
Lead
really
must
long.
be okay with wearing a bikini and getting covered with Cadbury eggs candy. In this psychedelic Easter experience, performer will have Cadbury eggs dropped onto their cheek, stomach, and butt in love with the Easter bunny. Yeah.
That actually sounds like a pretty good comedy, actually.
Please
That's like
email.
a really good scene in such a dumb movie.
Please email me pictures of yourself and also your house.
Wow.
Oh, this one is very similar to something I've done before. This female character is found with her arms tied behind her back and a rope in her mouth.
All right.
Oh,
fair
great.
enough.
After a botched masturbation attempt, she gets a ping pong ball stuck in her vagina.
That's a
Acting,
film.
casting call, whoa.
That's a film.
Mm-hmm. We need women comfortable with dressing in revealing clothes for this scenery.
For the
scenery.
Just to be in the background.
Oh, God. Actresses would need to be comfortable being intimate with myself.
Who writes it like that as well? That's the weirdest part.
Why wouldn't acting involve having sex with the director, you know?
I know. That's like what directors learn. That's the first thing you learn as a director. Like, well, the first thing you're going to do is find an actress and have sex with them. Then get caught, and then you get super famous. It's fine.
Totally.
It's fine. That's how it works.
Working synonymous with working on a student crew, your payment is smiles.
That is something I feel so bad about, is that I can't pay anyone.
Yeah, no. I mean, yours are fun, but if it's something like actresses need to be comfortable with having sex with me, your payment will be my happiness. Yeah. Fuck you.
Like, you'll get a hug and my dick.
She might not be the most beautiful girl in the room, like only a 7 on the typical hotness scale. Because 7's super low.
And some girl's like, yeah, I guess I'm a 7. That's cool. I'll apply.
Single mum who is desperate to pay her bills. Salary?
No pay.
I love that. Her scene will include being screamed at by a clown and being gagged briefly. That sounds like my Saturday, though. So, you know.
And this is before you started filming.
Literally all I said on set yesterday. This guy... Okay, so 2 guys to the left of me. 1 guy to the right. And
stuck in the middle with you.
So there used to only be 1 guy on my left, but the other guy slithers in under the sheets and sort of just pops up next to me. And I made it very clear beforehand. I was like, no skin, because I wanted to make a cunnilingus joke, but he didn't get it. So it just ended up getting really awkward. I was like, because he's like, how far should I go? And I was like, if you go past my knees, you're too far. And he was like, so is upper thigh, like outer upper thigh okay? Or something like that. And I was like, that's fine. Just don't, like, okay. And I literally just went, if my knees are on either side of your face, you've gone too far. And he still didn't get it. And I was like, fucking forget it. Like, we did the next scene, and his hand actually rubbed up against my hip because, I mean, it's impossible. That bed was tiny. And we finished the scene. He was like, I'm so sorry, I didn't touch you, did I? And I was like, no, even though he did, but I was like, you're just not gonna fucking get it. So like, it was bad.
Wow.
Oh my god.
Well, we can go from that into acting stuff, because you're probably one of the most professional people we've had on this podcast. Or one of the people, or someone that's like done a lot of work. Can I read this?
Yeah. It's appropriate for your YouTube channel.
The actress will... The scene involves some leather clothing to attract YouTube fans.
I offered once, but you were like, no, it'll be funny enough. She must be
I don't like acting like a dick. When I can't pay people, I'm going to be nice. When I can pay people stupid amounts of money, I can be a dick. Like until then, I have to be the nicest person ever.
Kubrick. She must be enough of a visual aesthetic to be believably the prey of a stalker. This is like the time I made a joke.
Worse is the stalker will be played by me.
Yeah, I made a self-deprecating joke once when I was dancing, and because there was a rapist fucking everywhere, and I'm a girl, so you know, shit happens.
Make a joke about it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're dealt with it every day, so I'm just sort of like, you know, female awareness. But I'm like, well, at least I'm safe because rapists don't want to have sex with fatties. And I was like 15, I was dancing, and I mean, I had an eating disorder at the time, but you know. And this girl just turns to me and she's like, I'm pretty sure they don't discriminate, Dorothy. Don't be fucking retarded. And I was like, don't try to compliment me or anything. Just get right down to brass tacks.
Don't support the rapist in this argument, lady.
I know, right?
Who is this person?
It's like
Like, seriously, they're nice people. They just sometimes rape someone. Okay?
It was like
it's
Childish
fine.
Gambino when he was still doing stand-up, and he was talking to a girl on his block, and they were talking about a rape had occurred. And he was like, oh my god, it's super fucked up. And she apparently responded with, well, I'm not worried, because if a man ever tried to rape me, I'd shit myself. And the guy was like, and he was like, first of all, if you can shit on command, that is fucking amazing. Like, that's a superpower. Secondly, he's a rapist. I'm pretty sure he's used to gross stuff. And I find that very true. But anyway, we're going to talk about my acting. Let's be classy. In the last, 15 minutes... Wow, sorry, I just got really distracted by my jaundice and freaked out for a second. Because I have the suede, and I looked down, and I forgot that I have the suede.
She's wearing the horse riding pants.
I'm wearing jodhpurs. I came from horse riding, so I'm covered in horsehair. And I have suede line jodhpurs. So they're black, and then I've got this deep tan suede lining on the inner thigh and the seat. And I looked down, and I thought that just the black were my pants, and I looked at the suede part, and I was like, oh, I thought I had shaved! And I was like, wait, no, you're not Armenian and you're not a man. You're fine.
I actually ripped my pants in that, like, the side your sweat is in right now. I ripped my pants in that exact, like, zone from the crotch to the, like, the bottom of the knee of the inner thigh. Up in Queensland, when we were staying out somewhere for 2 days, I had one pair of pants. We were drinking and playing Murder in the Dark, I think it was. On this
God, I love Murder in the Dark.
On this massive, like, property. So we could go anywhere.
That's amazing.
And somehow, I was running, and because I was drinking, I tripped.
Of course.
And then I didn't realise, but obviously it had to be then because we couldn't have it any other time. But 5 minutes later, I sat down, hid behind a tree, looked down, I was like, my leg is really cold. And it's because there's just air flowing up my legs through this, like, giant hole.
Amazing, yeah.
I found, like, an elastic band and just, like, put it around the top of my legs. So it, like, put the pant back where it was so it wasn't so cold.
Obvious, yeah.
I didn't care about being obvious. It was just cold. Like, all right, cool. I'm getting warm.
Oh my God.
This is flapping in the wind. I have a cape from my dick.
Which is a good idea.
That's awesome, actually.
Yeah.
I mean, you can put, like, glasses and a hat on it. That's fine. Put
glasses
a cape on
and
it.
a cigarette. You can't put a hat on it unless it's, like, erect, and then it's weird.
And then it's weird.
Then it's weird. But
Dressing
if it's
up
flaccid,
then is weird.
if it's flaccid, then, you know, you can put a sense of humor to it. I mean, it's still going to look awful. But,
it's still a dick.
Yeah.
You
It's
polish a
always
turd,
just,
it's still a turd.
Exactly, just with less direction in its life.
We started this conversation with, let's talk about your acting.
And now we're talking about dick. Because I'm thinking of considering going into porn.
I guess this is kind of a tangent.
You know, a dick's a dick, you know, like, whatever.
Yeah.
Don't have to look at the faces. I full on bitch slapped that guy yesterday. It was amazing. Because I pull out a sword, and I'm like, I want to try something
This
new.
movie sounds incredibly hilarious.
It was great, and it's like we were shooting the scene, and we were framing up the shot, and I'm holding the sword, and I was like, this is going in somebody's spank bank. Like, I just know it. Like, this is going to be a screen grab, and it's going to be somebody's wallpaper. It's literally like...
Or they're going to, like, Photoshop you into, like, a Final Fantasy costume.
Yeah, because it's like a head, tits, a sword, and a look of determination. like, and porn makeup. Like, it was good. And I go, you know, I want to try something new with this massive... It was a real sword, too. It was blunted, but it was a real sword. It was fucking heavy. And he goes, no. And I push him back, and then I just backhand the shit out of him. It was amazing. And I actually put the pushing and the backhand into it, because he's meant to just freak out, and I'm just like, no. And we'll just keep going. But I was like, no. And just like pushed him down and backhanded him. And they were like, let's do that again. So we did it again.
It's like, do it again, but harder this time.
Got another one in you. I've been very careful not to make actual contact during the bitch slap. That was just so awful.
Yeah, that takes skill, being hit in the face a lot on stage. I've done it a few times.
I've done it, and it's sort of fucked up to be like, I don't mind it, but I don't know, I'm into hitting in a non-violent way, in sort of a weird sexual way. I'm into it. So like, there was one time we were doing Brigadoon.
Guys, write that down.
Yeah. When I was doing musicals, just think of me as Cheryl from Archer. Like, I didn't believe it for so long, and then a friend of mine was like, you're fucking Cheryl, and I was like, and I watched it, and I was like, holy shit, I'm fucking Cheryl. Like,
you buy a choking robot for your birthday.
Yeah. You said start slacking off. Not slacking off? Oh, yeah. Mr. Roboto was it? Is this safe?
Probably.
No. My favorite quote, and I kept saying it yesterday as well, was like, name one way Archer has helped you in the past year. And everyone's quiet, and Cheryl's like, chlamydia, off the top of my head, which put me over my yearly deductible, so for the rest of the year, all my doctor's appointments were free. Booyah. And everyone was like, holy shit, how much did you go to the doctor? I don't know, like a lot. I kept getting chlamydia. I just love that. Get your hands off me, chlamydia. Oh, I get it. Because of all the chlamydia. That's my favorite line. I just love it so much.
It's such a good show.
So we were going to talk about my acting.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to run out of time.
We have about 15 minutes left. We can kill...
Sweet.
We haven't even got to our hard-hitting question yet.
Yeah.
But
whatever. We'll just extend this. This will be a special edition.
Ooh. I can do this in 2 parts because I'm not sure I can do more than an hour on YouTube. It's weird.
Oh, okay. Whatever. We can do 2 parts. That way you don't need to do another one next week.
We have maybe half an hour left. I think it's an hour 15 that I can't go over for some reason.
That's weird.
And then people have 10-hour loops. I'm like, how'd you do that?
Yeah.
I want to do that.
It's fucking weird.
10-hour loops and stuff is annoying. Anyway,
yes,
acting.
Like the Nyan Cat. Yes, acting. Let's not get distracted.
So I had Pat in the podcast a while, like 6 months ago, it's ages ago now. But we were talking about like his process for like getting into characters and stuff and finding jobs with acting and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So what do you do with your character acting?
With my character
There's not much work going into the ones I do for me, but like for actual films.
I find that I have an affinity with the character before I agree to audition for it. So I don't like auditioning for a character unless I already understand them and sort of like can get into the headspace as it is.
Okay.
So it's not one of those things where I'm like, I want to be a whore, and then I audition to be a whore, and then I'm like, what now? Like if I'm going to audition to be a whore, it's because I'm in one of my moods where I'm like, yeah,
yeah, trying to be a whore.
I'll fucking do it. It's like with Theatre of the Dead, I wasn't actually meant to audition. It's one of my favorite stories. You know that I want to put my foot on the chair and it's.
Oh yeah, that's my foot. I already put my feet on the chair. Sorry, I can move.
What the fuck? I'm so sorry. I just kicked your foot with my
you
boot.
Didn't kick my foot at all.
I did though.
You like just moved your boot against my foot. I'm like, all right, that's cool.
What are
What's
you
she talking
doing?
about? Look, lady, I know it's audio, but they'll hear it. I'll make noise.
Not very good at that.
We'll be quiet.
We'll be quiet. But yeah, with Theatre of the Dead, I wasn't actually meant to audition because my resume wasn't padded out enough because I didn't have any jobs then. So, but I knew the director and I knew part of the production team, and I was like, I'll be a assistant. I'll be an assistant just so I can be on set and I'll get something on my resume and it'll be fun. And I ended up getting roped into choreography.
Okay. So
one of the dances in the actual film was choreographed by me, and then the other one was like a collaborative thing. And then at the last minute, the official choreographer, or main choreographer, depending on what they said in the credits, he had to go up to Sydney for a Cher concert. So at the last minute, as you do, so at the last minute, they contacted me and they were like, "Can you please do this for us? It's a huge favor," because I had to wake up at 6 a.m. for like 3 days.
That is a huge favor.
Yeah, to do the audition. So I was there. I was up at 6 a.m. I'd get there at 7. I'd call everyone else because Pat, like the director, Pat Gallagher, his alarm clock failed the first day of audition. So I was sitting outside the venue. Nobody was there yet. I was like on time, and I called up Pat and I was like, "Where are you? Am I in the right place?" And he was like, "Oh shit!" And, no, and he like ran over, and they were like, "All right, well, because you came in at the last minute and you did this for us, if there are any free slots, you can audition." And I went in to audition for Maggie. Well, I went to audition for quite a few characters, but I read for Maggie, and I left the room. And apparently, like the minute I left, the panel just turned to each other and they were like, "She's Maggie." So I got the role for that one, which was really awesome. Yeah, and then I spent like 50 minutes sleeping before the next person came in to do their dance audition, which is always fun.
Just a quick post-audition nap.
Yeah, but I mean, it was like I got there at 7. And then the first audition didn't start till 8. So I was sleeping because, auditions finished at 6 every day. So it was like 6 till 6 for me. And then I'd go home and be up until like 11. And then I'd crash and be up at 6 again. So I was sleeping. And then they were like, "No, the first audition's here, wake up." So I had to wake up and do it. And it was great. It was lots of fun. So,
awesome.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's what I really think
it's
about.
Just like relatable characters.
Yeah. I mean,
occasionally
I try something new if I'm allowed to, because I mean, I can audition for it, but they'll be like, "No." But I always get given the tragic characters, which I mean isn't a problem for me when I do serious work, because
you're an actual actress who can do serious jobs.
I know, it's because I like doing serious stuff, because I mean I've had depression, I've had anxiety, I was suicidal for a while, I had an eating disorder, I had an abusive ex, like all this shit happens.
It's a lot to draw on.
It's a lot to draw on, and I just enjoy it. Like, it's cathartic for me. It's a different form of therapy, and I've got a massive problem with repression. So, like any emotion, I will just repress it and turn it into happy. So, most of the time.
Most of the time.
Most of the time. You've heard me
and
be
then,
really
then you text me on a
shit.
Friday when my internet's out and I have to do an assignment.
Yeah. And I'm like, I want to kill myself. You know? And
Nah, that was fine.
yeah.
That actually made the assignment more fun because I didn't have to do it.
Well, yeah, thank you.
I didn't have to focus on it.
Yeah, you did,
I could
because
focus
you
on
were
helping.
sending me emojis of arrows.
That's right.
And businessmen.
I was like,
Business
what's the
emojis.
dumbest random thing I could do right now? I made a
emojis.
business conference
You
with
made a
emojis.
business conference. Yeah.
I'm creative with my emojis. I don't use them ever. And I use them once, like, this is great.
I like
But yes.
the sexting emojis. Those are fucked up. I sent those to you, like the giant green penis.
Oh, yeah.
With the girl riding on it. Like, she's not even, like, riding in a sexual sense. She's just, like
straddling it like a horse.
Straddling it, like Bart does in a when he's in the boy band. And he's on the boat,
cannon.
and he's on the, he's on, hot. That's what it was like. She was straddling it like that, and it's just fucking huge, and I'm like, what the fuck? And there's like tassel tits and shit, and they're like in different directions, and I'm like, I'm never gonna send that because that's not sexy. But it's just weird. It's just weird. Acting, yeah. So I have a real issue with repression most of the time. So I like repress it, and then it just sort of boils out like a volcano, and I sort of just erupt for a few days, and until I settle back down. And I find that if I get enough serious gigs, it doesn't happen because it's like a actual, I can actually do it. There's a legitimate reason for me to do it. And then there's that sort of umbrella that it's not me, it's the character.
Yeah.
So I do enjoy those sorts of things. I don't get them as much. I seem to do more comedies these days than I do serious.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you. But I do enjoy doing the serious stuff. Like I did my college honors on Shakespeare English, so I really like that sort of classic, serious sort of stuff. So.
I mean, you get into like serious stuff, but I just know that I would ruin it for myself because I'd make it funny. Like, I'm just not good at not being funny, and it's kind of annoying me right now. I've been wanting to do some more like dramatic-y things, and I can't do it. I'm so bad at it. I can't even write it. I write it and like, there's a joke there. It's like, no, there's not.
There's no problem with having like one or two jokes in there, but yeah. I feel part of it is a lot of people feel tentative to write dramas because there's this whole thing in our society where you're like, you have to repress it, which is one of the reasons I have that sort of repression thing, because you get taught to, like, if you have these feelings, don't discuss them. So a lot of the things that come out of comedies and stuff like that, because I feel like a lot of people want to write dramas and then they write them and they'll send it to people and people will be like, are you fucking serious? And they don't want to do it anymore because they get disheartened from it. Like, I like it, but I can understand it's one of those things that you can't just share it with everyone. Comedies, you can send it to people you know, and they'll be like, this is fucking awesome, yeah. But dramas, like, you can't send it to people because people will be like, why the fuck would you send this to me? Or why would you write this? Or are you really feeling like this? What the fuck?
Yes, are you okay?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go cry.
Yeah, and you're like, well, then if I don't have a soundboard, why would I want to write it, you know?
Fair enough.
Yeah, and I mean, it translates well once it's on screen, but it's difficult.
No, the best I could probably do is like Orange is the New Black level of drama to
Orange is
comedy.
the New Black.
That's probably the most dramatic I could go, just because I'm still kind of comedic, and it's still close enough for me.
I find that it's meant to be like a comedy drama or whatever, and I'm like, I actually like the drama in it. I don't notice the comedy as much. I notice it, but I like the drama in it.
Actually.
Yeah.
Just I do too much comedy. It's just I'm oversaturated with just comedy stuff everywhere. So now I'm getting more into super dramatic stuff just because it's different.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. I know people are going to hate me for saying it, but I'm not a huge fan of Breaking Bad. I can't watch it. It's just too violent for me. Like, Orange is the New Black, I like it because it's dramatic, but there's not any like graphic violence. It's not like, that famous scene with the head on the turtle and it's like, boom. Yeah, it's not like that. It's subdued shit. It's all psychological. I like psychological. Don't like graphic. Cool. Yeah, it's like
And then in that sentence, I just pictured like everyone listening to this. They were like, right? It's like, yeah, she's pretty. And then you said, "I was like that bitch."
Yeah, just like, I'm not even gonna fucking listen to this anymore. fuck
You
you.
just drew me in and broke my heart.
Breaking, like, oh yeah, because there's gonna be some guys who's like, she sounds pretty hot. I'd like to date her. She doesn't like Breaking Bad. What the fuck, bitch?
There's so many people I know are like so particular, like stuff like that. It's kind of annoying.
I'm like, I don't mind. Like, I don't like sports. I don't like rugby. I don't like soccer. The only thing I watch is tennis because my dad watches it, and equestrian sports and gymnastics because like that's
that looks cool.
Well, I mean, I do ballet. My mother did rhythms gymnastics on a national level, so I'm, I know gymnastics and that sort of movement. Horse riding because I do horse riding, and tennis because my dad fucking loves tennis, and I learned to appreciate the game. And I'm like, this is awesome. It's like chess. But I don't like other things. And a lot of guys who talk to me, the rare ones that actually
talk to me,
like I'm not just invisible. I'm trying to. No. That didn't come out right because I didn't. They're not invisible. But like, guys talk to me, but maybe one in about 50 of them are actually like, "Do you want to get coffee?" And when they say, "Do you want to get coffee?" there's even less of them that actually mean, "Do you want to get coffee?" There's like maybe one in that fraction of the 50th who actually mean, "Do you want to go on the date?" The rest of them are like, "Fuck." Like, "Do you want to fuck?" Like,
look, that's every dude. Just some better at hiding it. And more patient.
Like this
and like
guy.
gentlemanly.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know which one I like. I don't like either of them, to be honest. I'm like, I don't like a guy who's just like, let's fuck, because then I'm like, that's all you see me as? Really? That's all? Really? And then there's other guys who are like, let's go on a date, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to date you, but if you just want to have sex, then I'll do it. So it's the eternal struggle of being a woman.
So basically, you want to just have sex with the guys that want to hang out with you. The guys that want to go on dates are the ones that you want to fuck, and then the guys that just want to fuck are the ones that
it's complicated. It's complicated because I'm like, I don't mind having sex with people. Sex is awesome if they're good at it. But I'm also like there's that rule, the unwritten rule, like, can't have sex till the third date. Can't kiss till the third date.
That's the rule?
That's the rule. The whole Shapoopy song?
Oh, yeah.
Don't kiss on the first date, don't kiss on the second date, you do it on the third date, she's a winner. And then God knows when they're going to have sex if you wait 3 days to kiss. I, on the other hand, am like, if it's right, I'll fuck him on the first date. Like, I don't care. It doesn't make me a whore. It's like, I just want to know. Like, if you're not sexually compatible, what's the point of continuing? Because you're never going to be sexually compatible, like, it's not going to change depending on how you feel about him. So feelings.
Feeling.
But I also, it's sort of this weird internal struggle because I'm like, yeah, if it's right, then I would. But then is he just continuing it because of the sex? Or does he like me? And I'm like, so I just don't go out with anyone. That's the end of it.
That's a pretty good way to solve that problem.
Yeah. So I just I'm constantly just riding people on, not in a good way. Let's go out.
Leading people on.
Yeah, leading people on. They're like, let's go out to coffee.
Riding people on is very
Not today. I've got this to do and that to do. Like, it's like, guys, like, do you want to go get a coffee on a Saturday? And I'm like, oh, I've got horses. I'm out with the horses. And I don't tell them that I'm out with the horses from 12:30 till 2:30. Yeah, I'm like, no, I spend all morning with the horses, and then I'm working till 7, and then I don't want to have dinner with you. Nobody wants to have dinner on the first date. So by then it's just it's just coffee. It's always just coffee. So no guy will ever counter to that to be like, oh, do you want to go out to dinner instead? So I'm always off the hook. I'm like, my morning's taken and then I'm working till 6, so I really can't do it today. And they don't think dinner, they think, shit, how about tomorrow? Or how about you come over late night? I'm like, no.
So the perfect guy for you is the one who goes, why don't we just get coffee at 7 o'clock?
Yeah. And the best part is that if that doesn't work, if I say, if I'm not busy, or whatever, I'll just go, I don't drink coffee. Because I don't. I don't drink coffee. I barely drink tea. I don't drink alcohol. So they'll be like, let's go out for a coffee. I'm like, I don't drink coffee. Let's go out for drinks. I don't fucking drink alcohol. Let's go out for an apple juice. What are you, 5? Like, so it's like, I don't let them win, and I feel so bad.
So you gotta find the most cunning people of all time. It's like, well, why don't we get milkshakes?
Yeah, no.
No.
Because
the guys are going to try every drink.
They make me feel so sick when I'm around people because they're fucking huge.
I know.
Like, little things are fine, but if a guy legitimately was like, let's go out and get milkshakes, I'd be like, no, because in my mind I'm like, I will vomit directly afterwards. Because I go out with my friend all the time and I get milkshakes.
In my mind, it's the scene from Happy Days with 2 straws and milkshakes.
No.
But I feel like if I did that, I'd have the whole milkshake.
Yeah, no.
I wouldn't stop.
I think I've done that with a friend before, a lady friend, and yeah, it ended up being like she took 3 sips. It was back before I couldn't like eat or drink because it was before my eating disorder, and she took like 3 sips, and I just like took the whole thing down because she started talking. I was like, bitch, I'm still drinking. So like,
look, this
so
is still a milkshake.
Yeah. So yeah, no, I like them, but no, they're not a day drink. They're not a day drink. I don't know. Let's just say anything that is datey is not datey for me. I don't like it. I don't like it. Like, I always say that, like, my perfect date is just, I like this. This has become like a Miss Universe thing.
Okay,
if I have to describe my perfect date, I'd have to say April 22nd, because it's not too hot, not too cold. All you need is a light jacket. I sounded like a female Rain Man. Definitely not Rain Man. Anyway, like I always say, my ideal date is just like walking together through, like, just somewhere, anywhere, it doesn't matter. And then I think about it and I'm like, no, that would be awful. We have to talk about shit. I don't have shit to talk about. Like, my ideal date is sort of like in Brooklyn Nine-Nine. If anyone watches it, and they listen to this
if
too.
If they don't, they better.
I can't remember. Charles, I think. Charles says it. They're talking about their perfect date idea. And he's like, my perfect date, it's not even like a date. Like, you don't know it's a date. It just, you know, you're just hanging around talking and then boom, kissing. Like, that is the ideal date for me. I can't know it's a date. Otherwise, I freak the fuck out.
It's like too much pressure.
It is. I'm just like, I can't do this.
What do people do on dates?
Pretty much.
Think back to all the movies.
Yeah, because the guys like, you know, the assumption is guys go on a date with you because they want to spend time with you. Because they want to
spend time with you.
Yeah, well, they do.
Well, yeah.
they also want to, like, possibly, if they're like decent, they might want to know something about you. You know, they want to have a chance to pretend to care and to like trick you even further. And
all the nice guys are like, I care.
I don't
find me.
Yeah,
I'm in the audience.
Yeah, I'm still firmly standing by the belief that I will not be able to find a guy in Canberra. I just won't, because it's just no.
Canberra's full of public servants and politicians anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Boring.
Abbott.
Yeah, the ears.
Anyway, the ears terrible. But anyway, yeah, like, yeah, I just can't know. If I know, like, if I know in advance, they're like, okay, let's go out for coffee on Friday, and I'm like, okay. And then I know that I haven't spoken to this person ever before, like face to face. There's no other reason for them to want to have a coffee. Like, business meeting, fine. You know, like, friend, fine. But if it's a guy I don't know and it could only be a date, I'm just like, and then at the last minute I'm like, I have malaria, and just don't go. Like I can try and talk myself into it, but at the last minute I'd be like, you know what, it's not worth it. You know, I'm happy like this. So I don't know. Which is really funny because then, like, I talk to people and I was talking to this guy who runs the cafe that my friend and I go to 24/7, and it came up that I was an actress, and he was like, "You? No." I was like, "Yes." And he's like, "But you're not weird." I was like, "Seriously?"
I was like, "But you haven't seen me."
Yeah, and he's like, "Oh, you're not like eccentric like other actresses out there, like eccentric, you know?" I'm like, really? like every time I come to eat there, like, I sort out their sugar packets according to color and like every height order and shit. Like, I'm really OCD. Like, I am fucking weird. Like, I'm fucking weird.
Thank God, though.
So, thank you.
If you weren't weird, how would you be hanging out?
Exactly.
It's unnatural.
So, like, it's this weird juxtaposition, because actresses are meant to be like confident and cool and eccentric and weird, and I mean I am eccentric and weird, but I'm not confident and cool. So, like, it's just weird. Nobody believes me. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm an actress. They're like, no, you sure? I'm like, yes. Like, unless
you made me doubt myself. Yeah. Am I sure?
Like, am I, with the cameras really there? You know, it's like the Troy and Abed thing. You're like, why are these cameras here? There are no cameras. You know? I just see them in my mind to justify everything I do. Oh, I've got a thing on my eyelash.
Ew, gross.
I got it.
I've been rubbing my eye for like 15 minutes. I have no idea what's in it.
No, I had a knot on my thing from the mascara yesterday. It knots together once it's dry. The only way you can get it is like pull it out. So,
with sheer force and brutality.
With sheer force and brutality. But yeah. So that's what people see about me when I'm an actress. They're like, you're not. You're just weird. Thanks.
Which is kind of annoying because you're actually a really good actress. You're one of the best ones we have on the channel thing.
Thank you. And like in the big picture, I'm not that great. Like I can tell. Like I've got a lot more work to do. But I feel like if you ever look at yourself and you're like, I'm perfect, then what the fuck?
Yeah, you're probably doing something wrong there.
You have to keep going. So, but thank you. That's really nice. It's a confidence booster. It's
kind of my thing. That's what I do. I just come in, hey, you're great. Work for me. It'll be fun. I promise. Just
if you weren't a director.
You're
really so great.
Shut up,
take your pants off.
Stop complimenting me.
That was one of the stories I put up the picture on Facebook of my porn makeup yesterday, and a guy I like never spoke to messages me and just goes, "I like your porn makeup. Let's go on a date." And I was like, I don't wear it enough to justify a date. And he was like, of course I was just kidding. And I was like, yeah.
Of course you were.
It's like
you gotta buy the confidence, just the delivery was wrong.
It was like the thing that person once said. They were like, if I ever want to ask someone out, I do it on April Fools. So if they say no, I can be like, just kidding, while my soul dies a little inside. Which is the perfect tactic. I wish I had thought of that. Like I don't, because I don't ask people out. You know, I'm very traditional in that sense. And the guys have to ask me out. I'll say no, but it's nice to be asked.
But that's the traditional part.
It's nice to be asked.
It's a good little confidence.
But I don't ask, and I feel like, well, first of all, I feel like if I did, I'd have more success. But secondly, yeah, I just have this thing that I just die a little inside every time I had to ask, you know? You
do kind of put yourself in a bad position when you say you want to go, you want to be in a relationship, you want to do all these things, but then you also just say no to a first date.
It's like, well, yeah, like I can only relate it to like sitcoms because it's like Leslie Knope.
Yes.
She wants to be in dates, but she's fucking terrified of a first date. So she goes on this date with Anne.
Yeah, and she does that like reverse psychology thing.
Exactly.
It's such a good episode.
That's what it's like. If we could just skip straight to the second date or like to a month in the relationship. That's why my ex managed to pull me in the way he did, because we never went out on a date until we were together for like a year. And then I had to pay, and he ended up chatting up other girls, but that's beside the point.
What a dick.
Have a picture of me in this, just so that there can be people who comment being like, what a dick, you're fucking fine.
No. A picture of you will be in this, don't worry.
Sweet.
You'll be holding a kitten.
Oh, yeah, but that's just my face.
Alright, fine, I'll get another photo.
Yes.
I really hope they hear the button.
The button pop when you said that. Yeah, so I'm not doing it by car. This is great. Yeah, we didn't date for like a full year. And,
Sorry. I was taking the photo and like a little focus square comes up, came up right on your
tits, yeah.
Immediately. It's like, oh, look, there's where you're looking. Obviously.
Always.
Dick.
But yeah, so we
My phone
didn't...
knows I'm a douchebag as well. God damn
it. But yeah, we didn't date for an entire year. So like the first date, I went over to his house. We spent like noon till midnight together, and I passed out during a movie. Passed out. He didn't notice.
Oh yeah, I remember this story.
He did not notice. Yeah, we were watching Shaun of the Dead. We had spent majority of the day together. I hadn't eaten, which is probably why I blacked out, because he offered me watermelon, and I can't eat in front of people. It's one of the things I have with this whole eating disorder thing. I can't do it. Like, it's very rare. And he offered me watermelon, and I didn't want to ask for cutlery like a weirdo, so I was like, I'm good, and I just didn't eat anything all day. And we were watching the film, and I just blacked out. Totally blacked out. And I knew it was coming because I got really nauseated, and I turned like green, basically. And the guy was like, are you okay? And I was like, yeah. And we paused through it, and I just blacked out the entire thing. He didn't notice for like an hour and a half.
That is like a sitcom thing.
Yeah, and then we woke up at like 9 at night, and then just watched some weird movie on TV, and then went home. Like, that was it, and other stuff happened. But that's beside the point. Non-sexual stuff. But
okay.
But yeah, well, I mean,
well,
not sex, because
just not nothing.
That hadn't occurred yet. But yeah, not nothing. But
between nothing and sex is a lot of things.
Yeah, rock
Pick
climbing.
Pick
rock
one, audience.
climbing.
Rock climbing.
You know, all sorts of things. But that was all it was. Like, that's all it was the entire time. It just went straight to sitting on the couch watching TV together. And I was like, that's what I like. That's what I like in a relationship. Just watching TV together. So I don't like the formality of going out on dates. Like, you have to look nice and you have to try, and like I'm not good at it because it's like the second guessing thing I spoke about before with the whole Simpsons thing. Like, I second guess myself, and I do that on the date, and I lose like 20 fucking IQ points while we're talking, and I hate them. I hate them because it's a misrepresentation of me, and I'm like, I'm not fucking doing this.
You're like, I'm smart, trust me, doggy.
Exactly. You know, I like kittens. They're so fluffy and nice. You know, talk about what you know. So, speaking of kittens.
He's been asleep there for like 20 minutes now. It's adorable. Don't wake him up.
I don't want to wake him up. I just want to...
Oh, you wake him up. He moved. Of course. He's moving closer. It's like, what is happening?
Don't get up.
It's an earthquake.
Is she attacking the pants?
I think so.
She thinks the pants are the reason. How far have we got on the time, by the way?
We have maybe about 5 minutes left. So this
All right,
is
do you want to ask any serious questions?
pretty...
And I'll try not to divert from the end.
Well, I actually don't really have a harding question. I kind of like how this is going so far. We don't really need
General
one.
questions. Because it was meant to be about my acting, and then I was like, dating.
Yeah, no.
Any single guys.
This is how like most of our conversations go anyway. It's like, hey, we'll talk about this. And like 2 seconds later, it's like, hey, look, butts.
Just put up an ad at the end of this, just being like, any guys who's single, interested, there's a picture. You can't get a number, but contact me and we'll send you an email. And, you know, she's got a spam.
And a calendar.
And a calendar with pictures. Yeah, right. Your little heartbeat's so adorable.
She's actually not talking to the cat right now. It's quite strange. The cat's left the room. This is really confusing. I think she's insane.
You think I'm insane? Come on. You've worked with me for like a year now.
Wow. How long has it been?
No, we started working together in like September or something. I think.
Still.
It was in like spring.
That's way too long.
Because Sam couldn't do the sketch.
The Your
where
Mama
we
sketch.
couldn't-
Yeah.
the one that was too short. Yeah, it wasn't Your Mama, actually. That was an
Oh, that's
emergency.
right. Yeah, we just decided to do that one that was way better than the other one.
Yeah, and the other one ended up being too short anyway, so it was lucky we did it. Otherwise, it would have been a waste of time. Yeah.
Just holding the cat.
Waste. Oh, now I feel really bad because I do what your siblings do. Just abuse the shit out of this cute little kid.
Yeah, but at least you're not like yelling at the cat.
Ah.
They'll start like if the cat does something bad, no matter how long ago it did it, they'll walk up to the cat and just start yelling in its face, and the cat starts swiping, and I'm like, this is not going well for you.
Yeah, you need to
The
do it
cat doesn't
immediately.
understand.
You need to do it immediately or he doesn't understand.
That's why I like the cat. The cat likes me because we're like buddies. Because I don't yell at the cat. I treat it like a person. Well, not a person, but a cat.
Like a cat person.
Yeah.
Like a cat.
Like a furry.
I don't treat furries like people. Because furries are fucking weird.
Furries are a little weird. All right.
Like, I don't mind bondage, I don't mind all sorts of stuff, but furries, I don't fucking get
If I
it.
see a fox costume, I'm out. No matter how tied
enough.
up.
Like, how can you explain that to your partner? Like, I want to have sex with you, but I need to be a donkey to do it. You know, like, it's fucking weird. I mean, each to your own. I'm not saying you should do it.
Everyone has these weird
Yeah,
things.
each to your own. You should do
Hold
it
this plate
if you
of
want
orange
to.
slices on your head while I masturbate and watch The View.
Yeah, but
That's just my thing.
yeah, but like, so yeah, each to your own. If you want to do it in the bedroom, do it in the bedroom. But
Just don't wear an Easter Bunny costume in the Hyperdome like I saw today.
is that maybe because it's Easter?
But I may have just been a furry. I can't tell. Because he wasn't like interacting with you. He was just walking along. He was just hanging out, just walking down the street.
Trying to chat up chicks. If he's not talking to small...
I just realised how hard it would be for a furry to chat at someone. If he's walking and he goes, where are you going? Oh,
Oh no, they've got the mesh in front of their mouths.
Okay, so you can kind of hear him, but then they're still a furry.
Oh my god. Sorry, I'm still back on the
All right,
casting call.
to end out the podcast, we'll do a few more of these casting call things because
Okay.
they're awesome. And then we'll have
This
to
is
end
great for yesterday
finish
because
this
I literally had a scene where I had to... The guy wasn't even under me, though we did have a few scenes where he was, and I just had to like bounce. and all his friends were fucking watching. Well, I was just like, okay. Yeah,
Wait,
it was
watching
all,
in the
it
film
was,
or just like behind the camera just watching?
They weren't watching in the film; they were just watching.
Oh, okay. Just hanging out.
And they were just watching the bounce. And this is. She needs a full bosom. Large breasts are somewhat essential for a few bouncy scenes. Keeping it classy. We are looking for an actress to play a dead, naked body.
Because they can't just be dead; they have to be naked.
Oh, this is beautiful. There's something unnerving about her. Maybe she's just read too many books. Prefer an actor who is not thin. It's a great role for a feminist.
With an exclamation point. Yeah. Yes! All right. We have like 50 seconds left, so I'm going to start closing this out. Well, yeah, that was a podcast. I'm Lachlan.
Dorothy. Still reading these.
He's always like, Dorothy.
Extremely smart. Oh, this sums me up. Extremely smart, although you'd never guess from her exterior.
And that's a great line to end on.
Bye.
You talk too much.